right, welcome back to Vibrations and Libations, guys. Thanks for tuning in. While I've got you here at the start of the video, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please subscribe and click that thumbs up button and give us some comments down below. That being said, I'm James.
And I'm Keith.
And tonight we're listening to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, as you can see right here.
No, we're not.
We're not?
No, we're not.
What are we listening to then, if it's not Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band?
James, this is the Flaming Lips.
It's the Flaming Lips version of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I see, okay.
With a little help from my friends.
My friends, alright. So, this is the Flaming Lips remake of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, the classic album by the Beatles. And then tonight, what we're drinking is Dogfish Head, Dragons and Yum Yums. And this is a collaboration beer with the Flaming Lips. So I thought this would be a perfect beer to go with this album. Some psychedelic artwork on the album cover, some pretty crazy psychedelic looking stuff on the beer bottle. I'll put some pictures of this, that way you can kind of get a close-up and take a look at that a little closer.
And we already poured our beers due to technical difficulties.
This is take 3 of this video because of my stupidity and dumb acidness. So
you're not a dumbass.
We'll see how the rest of this take goes. We may have to start over again and maybe do a different beer if we run out of beer.
Those other 2 takes probably sucked ass, and this one's the best take of them all.
I'm sure you're right. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about the album here again. Flaming
I'll
Lips.
name some contributors.
Yes, this album is made with a group of other performers with the Flaming Lips. So Keith, who's on
the
here?
Fwends.
The Fwends section of the
Alright. Some of the Fwends are My Morning Jacket, Moby, Dr. Dog, Maynard James Keenan, who is going to deliver us the best album of all time by a wrench and a screwdriver.
That's the name of the band official now.
Yes, and Miley Cyrus to round out the all-star group.
Yes, Keith mentioned to me a couple of weeks ago that he doesn't want to be a Miley Cyrus fan, but by God, he is kind of. Is that true?
That is absolutely not true.
I thought I had you there on that one. I thought you were definitely going to say yes on that.
No.
Okay, so
Billy Ray now?
There we go.
I like to get my hoe down.
Yeah. Well, let's not talk about your hose. Let's leave that for a different video.
We were already talking about Miley Cyrus. Oh my gosh.
Zinger! Okay, so enough insults on Miley Cyrus. Alright, so the beer, again, it's Dragon and Yum Yums. That's the Dragons and Yum Yums. That's the name of the beer. It's 6.5% alcohol by volume, and it's 25 IBUs. Dogfish Head says it's intensely tropical, yet subtly bitter.
Yeah, and I agree with that. We've been sipping on it.
Yeah, so we got on this other take here. Here's the color. We've already poured the beer. It's kind of an orangish, maybe a little amber, but are they the same? I don't know. But it's definitely got a fruity smell to it, but it's not overpowering on the fruit tastes. It's made with dragon fruit, yum berry. I don't know what the hell a yum berry is, but passion fruit. Is that what it is?
Yum.
Okay. Passion fruit, pear, and black carrot juices. I've never heard of a black carrot either.
I think they're like purplish looking.
Oh, okay. So some carrots and some fruits together. You know, just blend it all up in a juicer and pour it out, and you've got a beer. So I like this beer. It's not overpowering on the fruit. It's not all just fruit. It's fruit.
It does taste like beer. It's like a shandy, I believe I described it. Shandies to me are a little fruit heavy, but and this one, to me, it is too fruit heavy. But but I do like it. I think I would like it more if it was hot outside. Yeah, and it's getting hot behind these lights.
It is hot behind these lights, especially after doing so many takes here of this video, which again is my fault. So. Anyway. Alright, so some information about this album. Keith mentioned some of the contributors on the album. This album is the second in a series of Fwends albums. The first album was called The Flaming Lips, and Hetty Fwends, I think was the name of it. Fwends, that's friends with a W in there. It was released in 2014, and the proceeds from this record sales went to a place called the Bella Foundation, which helps with veterinarian care for pet owners who need help. They maybe are not able to afford care for their pets. So the Bella Foundation provides funding for people who need help caring for their pets, getting them taken care of, shots, stuff like that. So I think that's a good cause. I think it's a pretty good cause. And there's all kinds of dogs all over this album cover here on the front and in the back. So.
And this lady looks like she speared a heart on the back to me. I'm sure it's supposed to be like a little pack she's running away from home, maybe.
Probably. If
you know, like the handkerchief pack tied on a stick. But it looks like she's done stabbed somebody in the heart and walking around with it on a stick.
Yeah. I'm not, I won't say that it's similar, but it's kind of got some themes of maybe some Alan Forbes stuff there with eyeballs on bodies and stuff like that. So
I agree with that. It's got it's explicit parental advisory on the front. Now, if you're familiar with Sgt. Pepper, you know that none of the lyrics are explicit, and neither are the ones on this album either. They didn't change anything. All the same lyrics, but there are hand-drawn boobies on the inside, folks. Turn the kids away! Turn the kids away!
We can't have that in America, ladies and gentlemen.
It's art. Look out for the art.
Yes. Okay, so the elephant in the room here that we got to talk about, again, is Miley Cyrus.
And she's on this track right here. This is her singing right now. Yep. Does not sound like Miley Cyrus because she's not got the fake country twang going on.
Well, that's true.
And raspy voice or whatever. And, you know, she's probably a fan of Sgt. Pepper's like we are. Yeah. And she just wants to do something.
I think that she does a great job on this song, on this album in general. You know, I'm not the biggest Moby fan either.
Yeah.
But I mean, that song is good too. I think I'm a fan of the album, but I'm also a pretty big fan of the Flaming Lips, so I may be a little biased on that. I think it's, I don't know, when you listen to a remake of something, you can't really expect it to be exactly, and it shouldn't be exactly like it was made. I mean, there should be some differences there. Now, I will be the first to admit that they took many liberties on this album.
Well, as I said, it feels a little overproduced to me because it feels like somebody got I figured out what all these buttons do, and I'm going to make them all. I'm going to use them all on this album. And this guy, they recorded this album, and they gave it to a DJ, and the DJ is doing his mix thing, and he figured out what all the buttons do, and that's what he did. And it feels like that I just want to grab them and help them pull the songs along because they're all dragging, and I thought my turntable was messing up. You know, when I first
speed or something.
James bought me a turntable at a yard sale for $10.
$10,
and
can't beat that.
It's a fantastic turntable, but when I first got it, it has a servo drive on it, and it has variable speed there. You can adjust it. And when I first got it, it was messed up. I had to spray some contact cleaner in there to free it up and get it working right. And I thought it was messing up again because it was all dragging and stuff. And I was like, the whole album is that way. It's like the whole album is dragging. It's the second. The flip side is not as bad as the first. And actually, if I have a favorite song on the album, it would be Within You, Without You, the George Harrison written track. And it is the most constant speed song. Doesn't sound like it's dragging throughout the album. But I'm not a fan of the techno stuff. Listening to it, sitting at home or whatever. Yeah, I agree. The album is very psychedelic, but it's way too produced and techno for me. Now, if I was in a rave, as we used to call it in the young days, I don't know what they call it now. James calls it sock hop. And
get your poodle skirts on, ladies and gentlemen.
It would probably I would probably be like, oh, right on. Yeah. This album is right on. If my head was just right with some alphabetical letters arranged in a certain way, like LSD, maybe some mushrooms or something like that, maybe this album would probably be just the tits.
Yeah. Well, that's a good way to describe it. As I was looking online trying to find some information out about this album, I stumbled upon an article on Pitchfork, and a one Stuart Berman, contributor for Pitchfork, described this album as these are not so much revisions of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band as it is a disembowelment.
Yes, I agree.
So Keith agrees with that. Again, I'm a biased fan of the Flaming Lips, so I think it's a good take on the album. My favorite track on the album is "Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds," which is probably one of the more drug out songs on the album.
It is.
But it was a nice surprise whenever I first got the album and I read that Miley Cyrus is on it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to skip over this. And of course, this is one of my favorite songs on the original Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album.
Mine too.
And I'm like, man, I'm not going to like that song because she's on it. But I was surprised. I thought she did a good job on it. And although it is kind of a drug out song a little bit, I still like it. It's my favorite song on the album.
I didn't even know Miley Cyrus was. I knew Miley Cyrus was on the album, but I didn't know she was on this song. Mm-hmm. And I listened to the whole album, and I looked back through. I was like, "What songs were Miley Cyrus on?" Mm-hmm. She's on this one, and she's on another one. She's on A Day in the Life as well. Mm-hmm. And again, she does fine on that one. Yep. Nothing wrong with Miley Cyrus on this album.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Some other people who are contributors on this album are Tegan and Sarah. I like Tegan and Sarah a lot. And then Grace Potter is also on this album. So there's many more people on there that we're not going to take the time to sit here and read off all of them. But you can look it up and you can see who's on there. And you might have a group or a performer that you are a fan of that is on this album, and maybe you'll give it a chance. So. All right, so we didn't really talk a whole lot about the beer, but I've sat here and almost drank all of it. I think it's got a good finish. It doesn't leave a bad taste in my mouth. To me, it's not so fruity. It's got a good hint of fruit. I would say it's subtly bitter, as Dogfish Head's website puts it.
That's a good explanation.
Yeah, it is.
Intensely tropical, yet subtly bitter pale ale. I agree with that 100%.
Yep. I'm going to give this beer a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
Yes, sir.
I give it a 2.5 out of 5.
2.5, really?
Just the middle of the road. I mean,
really? I like it. And not just because it's Flaming Lip beer, which is awesome in itself, but
thank you for the beer, by the way, Brent.
Yeah.
Brent Clark.
Thank you. Yeah.
But it is, to me, it's a little too fruity. And I don't taste enough beer. When I'm drinking beer, I want to drink beer.
Yeah.
And
I understand.
To me, it's a little too tart.
A little too produced?
Oh, yes, too produced. I like that. The beer is too produced. The album is too produced.
Yeah.
So 2.5 on the beer.
So the album, you want to rate the album?
We'll rate the album.
Okay. I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5.
4.5 out of 5.
That's a high rating. Now, before we go any further here, no, you go ahead and rate the album. I'll ask my question after you rate the album.
I give it a 2 out of 5.
2 out of
5. And that's it may be because, as I mentioned before, 20 to 25 years listening to Sgt. Pepper's. I'm a huge fan of Sgt. Pepper's and the Beatles, and I love that album. All my kids have grown up listening to that album, and they can listen to this version when they get older, but the little ones can't listen to this right now. They can't be exposed to this. It's got boobies inside.
It's got boobies inside. Yeah. All right. So my question is, this album, TV on the radio, which one are you going to listen to first?
This one.
Okay, all right, okay. We'll take that. I like that answer. Still not a fan of TV on the radio, I guess.
No, not a fan.
Can't make that happen.
And the Flaming Lips, let me listen into Yoshimi versus the Robots. Is that the name of it?
The Pink Robots, yeah.
Yeah, and this one, But I went exploring and looked at the Flaming Lips. Not like their older stuff, their beginning stuff. I like their more kind of punk rock sound, the more rock sound that they had, the traditional instrument sound, not the produced techno.
Heavily pedaled fuzz guitars and you know some drums, and not a switchboard full of buttons and levers. So.
Right. I learned these 5 buttons today, and we're going to use every one of them on the album.
Well, their concerts are kind of like this album.
I would go to a concert, though.
It's a trip.
I would go to a Flaming Lips concert. James, if you want to go sometime, I'll go to one with you.
We'll probably be to Nashville pretty soon, so we'll maybe make a trip of that. All right, so we've rated the beer, we've rated the album. That's what we do around here. We got anything else to add?
I don't think we do.
Okay, so after 3 takes, we've successfully completed another video on vibrations and libations. Again, as always, we appreciate you guys watching. Please leave comments. Please give us a thumbs up. We would appreciate that. And again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, now's a good time to click that subscribe button and click that little bell over there under the video. That way
get notifications.
You get notifications on when we put out new videos. And if there's things that you would like for us to either drink or listen to on a video, leave it in the comments below and let us know. We appreciate ideas all the time. So.
Right.
All right. So if there's nothing else to add, this is going to be the end of the video. So for someone who does not like this album as much, and for someone who I'll pat myself on the back because I gave it such a good high rating, and I thought they did a really good job on this video. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'm James.
I'm Keith.
And until next time, keep on spinning that vinyl.
All right. Wiggity wiggity whack.
Wiggity wiggity whack.
I don't know why I said that.
We can do some tag team if you want to.
There are hand-drawn boobies on the inside, folks.